Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Daily English Lab podcast. Quick test. Listen to this sentence and tell me if it sounds natural. I am going to want to have to go to the store. Now, listen to this. I'm going to want to have to go to the store. If you think the first one sounds right, you've been lied to. Every English textbook, every grammar course, every teacher told you to say going to, want to, and have to. But here's the truth. Native speakers almost never say those full forms in casual conversation. We say gonna, wanna, and gotta. And there are at least 20 more of these reductions that you've never been taught. This is why you can't understand native speakers. This is why your English sounds stiff and formal. This is why people keep asking you to repeat yourself. You're speaking textbook English in a real-world conversation. In the next 25 minutes, I'm going to reveal the secret system of reduced speech that native speakers use constantly but rarely teach. By the end of this video, you'll finally understand what native speakers are actually saying, and you'll sound drastically more natural yourself. Let's unlock the real English that schools don't teach. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm your English coach, and I specialize in teaching you the real English that native speakers actually use, not the polished textbook version that nobody speaks in real life. So, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt confused when watching an American movie or TV show without subtitles? You know the words, you studied the grammar, but when native speakers talk at normal speed, it sounds like a completely different language. That's because it kind of is. Native speakers use something called reduced speech or connected speech. We compress words, blend sounds, drop syllables, and create shortcuts that make our speech faster and more efficient. Going to becomes gonna, want to becomes wanna, and have to becomes have-to or gotta. And there are at least 20 more of these reductions that you've never been taught. This is why you can't understand native speakers. This is why your English sounds stiff and formal. This is why people keep asking you to repeat yourself. You're speaking textbook English in a real-world conversation. In the next 25 minutes, I'm going to reveal the secret system of reduced speech that native speakers use constantly but rarely teach. By the end of this video, you'll finally understand what native speakers are actually saying, and you'll sound drastically more natural yourself. Let's unlock the real English that schools don't teach. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm your English coach, and I specialize in teaching you the real English that native speakers actually use, not the polished textbook version that nobody speaks in real life. So, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt confused when watching an American movie or TV show without subtitles? You know the words, you studied the grammar, but when native speakers talk at normal speed, it sounds like a completely different language. That's because it kind of is. Native speakers use something called reduced speech or connected speech. We compress words, blend sounds, drop syllables, and create shortcuts that make our speech faster and more efficient. Going to becomes gonna, want to becomes wanna, and have to becomes have-to or gotta. And there are at least 20 more of these reductions that you've never been taught. This is why you can't understand native speakers. This is why your English sounds stiff and formal. This is why people keep asking you to repeat yourself. You're speaking textbook English in real-world conversation. In the next 25 minutes, I'm going to reveal the secret system of reduced speech that native speakers use constantly but rarely teach. By the end of this video, you'll finally understand what native speakers are actually saying, and you'll sound drastically more natural yourself. Let's unlock the real English that schools don't teach. Let's start with the big three: gonna, wanna, and gotta. These are the most common reductions in English, and if you're not using them, you sound extremely formal and unnatural. Think about it this way. If someone says to you, "I am going to go to the store," it sounds like they're making an official announcement. But if they say, "I'm going to go to the store," it sounds like a normal, casual statement. Native speakers use these reductions in probably 95% of casual conversations. When you don't use them, you create a weird formality that makes people uncomfortable. Most learners make 3 mistakes with these reductions. First, they think these are incorrect or slang English, so they avoid them completely. Wrong. These are standard in spoken English. Second, they understand these reductions when they hear them, but never use them in their own speech. Third, they try to use them but pronounce them wrong, saying gonna instead of gonna, or wanna instead of wanna. Let's break down each one. Going to, for future, becomes gonna. Full form, I am going to call you tomorrow. Reduced, I'm going to call you tomorrow. Full form, she is going to be late. Reduced, she's going to be late. Full form, we are going to have a meeting. Reduced, we're going to have a meeting. Full form, what are you going to do? Reduced, what you going to do, or even what you going to do. Next up is want to becomes wanna. Full form, I want to go home. Reduced form, I want to go home. Full form, do you want to get some coffee? Reduced form, you want to get some coffee? Or, you want to get some coffee? Full form, she does not want to talk about it. Reduced form, she doesn't want to talk about it. And here's an important one. Have to and got to both become gotta. Full form, I have to finish this report. Reduced form, I gotta finish this report. Full form, you have to see this movie. Reduced form, you gotta see this movie. Full form, we have to leave now. Reduced form, we gotta leave now. Notice how much faster and more natural the reduced versions sound. That's real English. Pause this video right now. I want you to say these 3 sentences out loud 5 times each, getting faster each time. I'm gonna call you later. I want to go home. I gotta finish this work. Feel how they flow together? That's the rhythm of natural English. Don't move forward until you've done this. Seriously, your mouth needs to practice these movements. Here's how to remember when to use reductions. If you're writing formally, use full forms. If you're speaking casually, use reductions. Think of it this way. Would you say this to a friend at a coffee shop or in a business email? Coffee shop equals reductions. Business email equals full forms. Your mouth should automatically switch based on the situation. I'll never forget when I first realized how important these reductions were. I was teaching English, and one of my students, Andrea, had perfect grammar. I mean perfect. But she always said, I am going to, and I want to, very clearly and precisely. One day, she came to class frustrated. She said, my American colleagues keep asking me if I'm angry. I'm not angry. Why do they think that? I recorded her speaking and played it back. She sounded so formal and serious that it created an unintentional coldness. We spent 2 weeks just practicing gonna, wanna, and gotta. The next month, she told me her workplace relationships had completely changed. People started inviting her to lunch and happy hours. Same person, same personality, just more natural speech. Question for you. Do you currently use gonna, wanna, and gotta in your spoken English, or do you stick to the full forms? Let me know in the comments. And be honest, there's no judgment here. We're all learning together. Okay, so you've got the essential 3 down, but here's where things get really interesting. Questions in English get reduced so drastically that they become almost unrecognizable. And that's exactly what we're covering next. Let's talk about questions, because this is where reduced speech becomes absolutely critical. When native speakers ask questions in casual conversation, we compress them so much that they sound completely different from what you learned in textbooks.
If you can't recognize reduced questions, you'll miss half of what people are asking you. And if you always use full-form questions, you sound overly formal, like you're conducting an interview instead of having a conversation. Reduced questions make you sound friendly, casual, and natural. Here are the mistakes learners make with reduced questions. First, they hear a reduced question and don't recognize it as a question at all. Second, they take too long to answer because they're mentally translating the reduced form back to the full form. Third, they never use reduced questions themselves, always asking in that slow, formal way. Let's start with "what are you?" reductions. This becomes "whatcha." Full form, "what are you doing?" Reduced form, "what you doing?" It sounds like one word, "what you doing?" Full form, "what are you going to do?" Reduced form, "what you gonna do?" Full form, "what are you talking about?" Reduced form, "what you talking about?" Or even faster, "what you talking about?"
Next, do you becomes ja or ju or even just ya. Full form is, do you want some water? Reduced to, do you want some water? Or you want some water? Or even just want some water? Full form is, do you know what I mean? Reduced to, do you know what I mean? Often shortened to, you know what I mean? Or even, know what I mean? Full form is, do you have any questions? Reduced to, do you have any questions? Or just any questions? Here's a big one. Did you becomes did ya or did ya. It sounds like, did you eat breakfast? Full form is, did you see that movie? Reduced to, did you see that movie? Full form is, did you understand what he said? Reduced to, did you understand what he said? And one more. Would you becomes would ya or would ya. Full form is, would you like some coffee? Reduced to, would you like some coffee? Full form is, would you mind closing the door? Reduced to, would you mind closing the door? Full form is, would you be interested in this? Reduced to, would you be interested in this? These reductions are so common that if you use the full forms, native speakers might think you're being overly polite or formal, which can create social distance. Now, here's your practice challenge. I'm going to give you full form questions, and I want you to say them in reduced form out loud. Ready? What are you doing tonight? Say it reduced. What you doing tonight? Did you finish your homework? Say it reduced. Did you finish your homework? Do you want to come with us? Say it reduced. Do you want to come with us? Or want to come with us? Now, do this with every question you ask in English today. Force yourself to use reductions. It'll feel weird at first, but it's how you build the habit. Think of questions like text messages. In texts, we abbreviate everything to save time. What are you becomes whatcha. Did you becomes didja. Your spoken questions should have the same efficiency. The key is speed and flow. Don't pause between words. Blend them together into one smooth sound. One of my favorite examples of this comes from my student June. He was preparing for a job interview, and he kept asking me practice questions in the most formal way possible. What are you currently working on? Do you have experience with this software? I told him, Jun, you sound like a robot. Relax. We practiced reduced forms like, what you currently working on? Do you have experience with this? He was nervous about using these in the interview, thinking they were too casual. But during the actual interview, the interviewer used reduced speech constantly. Jun matched that energy, used reductions naturally, and told me later that the conversation flowed so much better than any of his previous interviews. He got the job. My question is, when you hear native speakers asking questions quickly, can you understand them, or do you need them to repeat more slowly? Drop a comment and let me know. If you struggle with this, you're definitely not alone. All right, questions are a huge part of natural English, but there's another category of reductions that's equally important. These are the auxiliary verbs, those little helping verbs like am, is, are, have, has, had, will, and would. In textbooks, these are always written out clearly. In real speech, they get compressed, contracted, and sometimes almost completely disappear. Auxiliary verbs carry important grammatical information about tense, mood, and aspect, but native speakers almost never say them in full form during casual conversation. If you're always saying, I am, I have, I will, clearly and precisely, you sound unnatural. These little words need to be quick and connected to sound right.
The mistakes learners make with auxiliary reductions are pretty predictable. First, they pronounce every auxiliary verb clearly as a separate word, which disrupts the flow of speech. Second, they use contractions in writing, but not in speaking, which is backwards. Third, they don't understand that in fast speech, some auxiliaries reduce so much they're barely audible. Let's start with to-be verb reductions. These contract with pronouns all the time. Full form, I am going to the store. Reduced, I'm going to the store. Full form, you are amazing. Reduced, you're amazing. Full form, he is working late. Reduced, he's working late. Full form, she is not coming. Reduced, she's not coming, or she isn't coming. Full form, we are ready to go. Reduced, we're ready to go. Full form, they are waiting outside. Reduced, they're waiting outside. Now, have and has reductions. Full form, I have been waiting for an hour. Reduced, I've been waiting for an hour. Full form, you have got to be kidding me. Reduced, you've got to be kidding me. Full form, he has already left. Reduced, he's already left. Full form, we have never been there. Reduced, we've never been there. Full form, they have finished the project. Reduced, they finished the project. Next, will becomes just O. Full form, I will call you tomorrow. Reduced, I'll call you tomorrow. Full form, you will love this movie. Reduced, you'll love this movie. Full form, she will be here soon. Reduced, she'll be here soon. Full form, it will not take long. Reduced, it won't take long. And would becomes just d. Full form, I would like some coffee. Reduced, I'd like some coffee. Full form, he would never do that. Reduced, he'd never do that. Full form, we would appreciate your help. Reduced, we'd appreciate your help. Full form, they would have come if they could. Reduced, they'd have come if they could, or even they'd have come if they could. Notice that last one. Would have becomes woulda or just dove. That's advanced, but native speakers use it constantly. Time for rapid-fire practice. I'll say a sentence with full auxiliaries, and you repeat it with contractions as fast as you can. Ready? I am going to the gym. You say, I'm going to the gym. She has already eaten. You say, she's already eaten. We will see you later. You say, we'll see you later. They would love to join us. You say, they'd love to join us. You are not listening. You say, you're not listening, or you aren't listening. Do 5 more sentences like this on your own right now. Pick any sentences and practice contracting the auxiliaries. This builds muscle memory. Here's the trick. Auxiliaries are like background music in a movie. They're important, but they shouldn't be the focus. The main verbs and content words are the melody. Auxiliaries are just the background section, quiet and supportive. So pronounce them quickly and lightly, saving your emphasis for the important words. I remember coaching a German student named Klaus who had an interesting problem. In German, auxiliary verbs are often emphasized and clearly articulated. He brought that habit into English. He would say, I have been working on this project. You will love this restaurant. She is coming to the party. He sounded almost aggressive because he was emphasizing the wrong words. We worked on de-emphasizing auxiliaries, making them quick and light. Within a week, his English sounded 50% more natural. Same words, different emphasis, completely different effect. Quick poll for the comments. Do you use contractions like I'm, she's, we'll when you speak English, or do you usually say the full forms like I am, she is, we will? I'm genuinely curious because this tells me where most learners are at.
So we've covered modals, questions, and auxiliaries. You're probably already noticing patterns in how native speakers compress English. But there's one more category that's absolutely essential, and it involves some of the tiniest words in English. Let's talk about pronouns and how they basically disappear in fast speech. Now we're getting into some really fast casual reductions. Pronouns, especially you, your, and him, her, them, get reduced so much in natural speech that they become almost invisible. These reductions are everywhere in casual American English. If you don't use them, you sound very careful and deliberate, which is fine in formal situations, but weird in casual ones. And if you can't hear them, you'll miss parts of what people are saying, because these reduced forms happen in literally every other sentence. The biggest mistakes: first, learners don't realize these reductions exist, so they never use them. Second, they hear these reductions but interpret them as unclear speech or mumbling, when actually it's perfectly standard. Third, they think using these reductions is lazy English, when it's really just normal English. Let's start with you reductions. In questions, you often reduces to just ya. Full form, see you later. Reduced, see you later. Full form, thank you so much. Reduced, thank you so much, or just thanks. Full form, I told you that already. Reduced, I told you that already. Full form, can you help me? Reduced, can you help me? Now, your becomes your, or sometimes just your blends into the next word. Full form, is this your book? Reduced, is this your book? Full form, what is your name? Reduced, what's your name? Often sounds like what's your name? Full form, take your time. Reduced, take your time. Here's a big one. Give me becomes gimme. Full form, give me a second. Reduced, give me a second. Full form, give me a break. Reduced, give me a break. Full form, can you give me that book? Reduced, can you give me that book? Let me becomes lemme. Full form, let me think about it. Reduced, let me think about it. Full form, let me know if you need anything. Reduced, let me know if you need anything. Full form, let me help you. Reduced, let me help you. Got to or have to becomes gotta, which we mentioned earlier, but in fast speech, it reduces even more. Full form, I have got to go now. Reduced, I gotta go now. Full form, you have got to see this. Reduced, you gotta see this. And here's an interesting one. Him, her, them often lose their H sound and blend with the verb. Full form, tell him I said hello. Reduced, tell him I said hello sounds like tell him. Full form, give her this message. Reduced, give her this message sounds like give her. Full form, ask them to come. Reduced, ask them to come sounds like ask them. Full form, did you see them? Reduced, did you see him? Often, did you see him? Okay, your turn. Read these sentences out loud using the reduced forms. Really blend the words together. Give me 5 minutes. Say it. Give me 5 minutes. Let me see that. Say it. Let me see that. I told you already. Say it. I told you already. Tell him thanks. Say it. Tell him thanks or tell him thanks. See you tomorrow. Say it. See you tomorrow. Now, go back and say each one 3 times, getting faster each time. Feel how the words flow together? That's the goal. Think of these reductions like a river flowing over rocks. The water doesn't stop at each rock. It flows smoothly over and around them. Your speech should do the same. Don't stop at each word. Let your voice flow smoothly, reducing the small words and connecting everything together. The small words are the rocks, barely noticeable in the flow.
I had a Brazilian student, Lucia, who was incredibly expressive and friendly in Portuguese. But in English, she sounded oddly stiff and formal. Why? She was pronouncing every word clearly and separately. Give me a minute. Let me think. I showed her how to say, give me a minute, and let me think. And she laughed. She said it felt like she was speaking broken English. I told her, no, you're speaking real English. We practiced for just 1 session, and the difference was incredible. She suddenly sounded warm and casual instead of formal and distant. Her personality finally came through in English because she was using the natural rhythm of the language. All right, honesty time. Does using these reductions like gimme, lemme, gonna feel wrong to you? Like you're speaking incorrectly? Comment below because I know a lot of learners struggle with this mental block. Let's talk about it. We've covered so much already, but I saved the best for last. These next reductions are what separate intermediate speakers from advanced speakers. These are the subtle, fast reductions that even some English learners with good fluency don't use. Let's finish strong. All right, we're in the advanced zone now. These reductions are more subtle, but they're everywhere in native speech. Once you start using these, you'll sound remarkably close to a native speaker. These advanced reductions are what separates someone who speaks good English from someone who speaks natural English. Most learners never learn these because they're not in textbooks. But if you want to truly blend in with native speakers, these are essential. The main mistake with advanced reductions is simply not knowing they exist. Learners hear them, but can't quite identify what they're hearing. They sound like mumbling or unclear speech, when actually it's perfectly clear to native speakers. Once you know these patterns, you'll hear them everywhere. Let's start with probably, which almost nobody pronounces fully. It becomes probably or even proly. Full form, I will probably go. Reduced, I'll probably go, or I'll proly go. Full form, she is probably right. Reduced, she's probably right. Next, don't know becomes dunno. Full form, I do not know. Reduced, I dunno. Full form, I do not know what to do. Reduced, I don't know what to do. Kind of and sort of become kinda and sorta. Full form, it is kind of expensive. Reduced, it's kinda expensive. Full form, I am sort of tired. Reduced, I'm sorta tired. Full form, I kinda want to go. Reduced, I kinda want to go. Out of becomes outa. Full form, get out of here. Reduced, get out of here. Full form, I am out of money. Reduced, I'm out of money. A lot of becomes a lotta. Full form, there are a lot of people here. Reduced, there's a lot of people here. Or, there's a lot of people here. Full form, I have a lot of work. Reduced, I have a lot of work. Should have, could have, would have become shoulda, coulda, woulda. Full form, I should have called you. Reduced, I should have called you. Full form, you could have told me. Reduced, you could have told me. Full form, we would have helped. Reduced, we would have helped. And here's one that's super common. I am going to, in fast speech, becomes I'ma or amuna or ama. Full form, I am going to call you later. Reduced, I'm going to call you later. Or even, I'm going to call you later. Full form, I am going to get some food. Reduced, I'm going to get some food. This is extremely casual and fast, but you hear it all the time in natural conversation. Let's practice these advanced forms. Say each sentence 3 times, getting more relaxed and reduced each time. I don't know what to say. Try, I don't know what to say. I probably should go. Try, I probably should go. It's kind of difficult. Try, it's kind of difficult. I should have known. Try, I should have known. I'm going to do it tomorrow. Try, I'm going to do it tomorrow. Or even, I'm going to do it tomorrow. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Don't force it, let it flow. Think of advanced reductions like shortcuts on your daily commute. At first, you take the main roads because you know them. But as you get more comfortable, you discover faster routes, little shortcuts that save time. These advanced reductions are your shortcuts. They make your speech more efficient and natural. Use them once you're comfortable with the basics. One of my most advanced students, Kenji, had been speaking English for 15 years. His grammar was flawless, his vocabulary was extensive, but he still sounded like a textbook. I recorded him having a casual conversation, and he said things like, I do not know, and it is kind of interesting, and I probably will go. Everything was grammatically perfect, but unnaturally formal. We spent 1 month just on these advanced reductions. After that, his English had a completely different quality. He finally sounded relaxed, casual, and native-like.
He told me that Americans stopped treating him like a foreigner and started treating him like one of them. That's the power of speaking the way native speakers actually speak. Final question before we wrap up the main content. Which of these reductions surprised you the most? Dunno? Shoulda? Ama? Drop it in the comments. I love seeing which ones are new to people. All right, we've covered 5 categories of reductions, probably about 30 different patterns. Your head might be spinning right now. But before we finish, I need to warn you about 3 critical mistakes that will sabotage everything you just learned. Let's make sure you avoid those. Now that you know all these reductions, let me warn you about 3 mistakes that will prevent you from actually using them effectively. Mistake number 1, using reductions in formal contexts. This is crucial. Reductions are for casual, informal conversation. If you're giving a presentation, writing a formal email, speaking in a job interview, or talking to someone in a position of authority, you should use more full forms. Saying, "I dunno" to your professor or "gimme a second" to your boss might sound disrespectful. Know your audience. Casual friends, reduce everything. Professional setting, be more formal. Think of it like clothing. You don't wear pajamas to a business meeting. Similarly, you don't use extreme reductions in formal contexts. Mistake number 2, over-reducing too soon. I see this sometimes with eager learners. They learn gonna, and suddenly every sentence becomes super reduced and almost incomprehensible. Here's the rule. Start with the basic reductions, like going to, want to, have to, and got to. Contractions like I'm, she's, we'll. Get comfortable with those first. Once they're automatic, add the intermediate ones like lemme, gimme, watcha. Finally, once you're really comfortable, use the advanced ones like shoulda, dunno, kinda. Don't try to use everything at once. It'll sound forced and unnatural. Mistake number 3, forgetting that clarity still matters. Yes, native speakers use reductions constantly, but we also adjust our speech depending on who we're talking to. If someone doesn't understand us, we slow down and articulate more clearly. Reductions are tools for efficiency, not replacements for clear communication. If you're speaking with another non-native speaker, or if someone looks confused, don't be afraid to slow down and use fuller forms. The goal is communication, not showing off your reduction skills. Remember, reductions make you sound natural, but only when used appropriately. Context is everything. Match your level of reduction to the situation and always prioritize being understood over sounding cool. Let's quickly recap the 5 categories of reductions that will transform your English from textbook to natural. Category 1, essential modal reductions. Going to becomes gonna. Want to becomes wanna. Have to and got to become gotta. These are non-negotiable. Use them. Category 2, question reductions. What are you becomes watcha. Do you becomes ja. Did you becomes didja. Would you becomes woulja. Questions get compressed dramatically in casual speech. Category 3, auxiliary verb reductions. I am becomes I'm. She has becomes she's. We will becomes we'll. I would becomes I'd. Contractions are essential, not optional. Category 4, pronoun and verb contractions. Give me becomes gimme. Let me becomes lemme. You becomes ya. These make your speech flow naturally. Category 5, advanced reductions. Probably becomes probably. Don't know becomes dunno. Kinda becomes kinda. Should have becomes shoulda. These are the final touch that make you sound truly native. Start with the basics. Practice daily. Gradually add more reductions as you get comfortable. Within a few weeks, you'll notice a massive difference in how natural you sound. You just learned the secret system of reduced speech that native speakers use constantly but rarely teach explicitly. This is the real English, the English you hear in movies, in conversations, in daily life. Here's what I want you to do right now. Pick 3 reductions from today's video, just 3. Practice using them in every conversation you have this week. Listen for them in movies and TV shows. You'll start hearing them everywhere once you know what to listen for. Leave a comment telling me which 3 reductions you're going to focus on this week. This simple act of commitment makes you way more likely to actually follow through and see results. If this video finally helped you understand why native speakers sound so different from textbook English, smash that like button and subscribe to this channel. Next week, I'm revealing the 5 pronunciation mistakes that instantly tell people you're not a native speaker and exactly how to fix them. You don't want to miss that. Remember, you don't need to sound like a native speaker to be understood. But if you want to understand native speakers and sound more natural yourself, these reductions are the key that unlocks everything. The secret is out. Gonna, wanna, and gotta, and all their friends are waiting for you to use them. Stop speaking textbook English. Start speaking real English. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep practicing, keep reducing, and keep sounding more natural every single day. Let's master real English together.